Joining us now with stories trending around the world is Vimbai Mutinhiri Ekpenyong. Good morning. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufi Fire. How are you? Dr. Abati, how was your fire drill experience yesterday?
You know, I joined the people to run. They said we should go to the basement or go to the swimming pool side. Before they finished the announcement, I was already outside.
You are sure in a better space.
Well,
it's okay.
Yes, I understand it was just a drill anyway.
Service responded in good time.
Yes, good. Well, they said it was practice.
Fire service in Abuja for their, promptness, for their efficiency.
Yes.
But that's why Dr. Bati came back quickly to Lagos by this morning.
No, the matter was resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, button mission quickly. He said, fire.
Fire. You don't have to tell me twice. All right, well, we're glad to have you back in studio, safe and sound.
We thank God for life.
We thank God on a Friday. Well, let's begin what's trending today with some developments concerning security as Nigerian President Bola Tinubu and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz discussed deepening cooperation on security, power and infrastructure on a phone call on Wednesday. In the 9-minute call, the two leaders discussed reviving the stalled presidential electricity project involving German conglomerate Siemens and the prospect of Nigeria buying used German helicopters. It is reported that Merz committed to delivering the 2019 Siemens deal that had aimed to deliver up to 11,000 megawatts by 2023, but of course had faced challenges. You will recall that in December 2023, Tinubu had signed an accelerated performance agreement with Merz on the sidelines of COP28. Tinubu also asked his German counterpart to supply Nigeria with used helicopters to boost reconnaissance and intelligence operations in the region. We'll just take one tweet from this, which I think summarizes a lot of people's sentiments towards this development, which is on X from Aproko Senator, who says, why go for used helicopters? Can't we afford new ones? And of course, this is quite a nuanced conversation because the timeline for you to get a brand new helicopter, the cost as well. But on social media, a lot of people, whether researched, informed or not, are saying, it has reached that we are now doing Tokumbo helicopter. Dr. Abati.
Well, that's to be expected. But the issue is about the Siemens deal. Now, when that was announced, I think 2019, under the Buhari administration, there was a lot of praise for Siemens, that Siemens had helped them in Egypt to take the power supply to a very high level, and that Siemens had very good experience. The question is, okay, we had this presidential power initiative under President Buhari. I don't think they've disbanded the team, but the Siemens project with Nigeria failed. Why? What happened? Why is it that when some contractors do well in other countries, when they come to Nigeria, we'll be talking about challenges and the thing failing? So it's okay at a time when power, remains a problem in Nigeria, and some people are saying, well, even in Aso Villa, they are now going to use solar energy, and that's a major legacy by the government. In fact, somebody posted something that at a PACN office, in fact, they were using solar. At the PACN office, so the people that are supposed to give us electricity, they themselves are using solar energy. So if the Tinubu administration is going to return to this and then make sure that that Siemens project gets off the ground and we achieve as much success as the Egyptians have done, then that would make sense. Because electricity, as everyone has said, whether it is Alhaji Aliko Dangote or Dr. Gaji, who was on this same program yesterday, or any man on the street, is very important to ensure economic growth. So President Tinubu making that a priority, I think it's a welcome development. Yes, I was also going to say this helicopter thing, that we seem to have a Tokumbo problem in Nigeria, but it is very true. Even the big aircraft that we're using on the domestic line, they are all Tokumbo, second hand and all that. But if we're able to succeed with industrialization, perhaps we'll get to a point around here that we will not be depending on second hand things if Nigeria can make his own cars, at least provide some parts, but that's still a long way from now. So we'll make do with Tokumbo. But when we get the helicopter deal from Siemens, you know, there's also the point about maintenance. Do we have the engineering capacity to maintain all these things that we buy from elsewhere? So that's why Nigeria getting onto the industrialization part, you know, is very important. Although we've been talking about it since the second National Development Plan. We're still on it now.
Yes. And Rufai, I'll come to you after this, which is a related development. The Nigerian Air Force has taken to social media to showcase the A-29 Super Tucano aircrafts, celebrating how they have enhanced operations and ushered in a new era of precision air warfare and intelligence-driven operations. This is particularly significant given the road to getting the aircrafts into our skies was an uphill battle. If you remember, Nigeria first sought to acquire these aircrafts in 2013, but was blocked by the United States Lee laws that prohibited the U.S. government from providing military assistance to countries accused of gross human rights violations. Well, it was under the first term of President Donald Trump that the U.S. policy shifted, leading to the sale of 12 of these A-29 Super Tucano aircrafts, valued at about $593 million in 2017, and the aircrafts were then delivered in 2021. Well, the video posted by the Nigerian Air Force was met with mixed reactions. While some social media users celebrated the Air Force, some were concerned that the nation is yet to showcase more recent and modern defense technology. Well, let's take a look at the video that has now gone viral. Rufai, I know you like aircraft and fighter jets, and you like going to military museums and so forth. But can you tie all of these things together? You know, the used helicopters, the Super Tucanos, and the fact that some people are saying that, well, we'd like to showcase something more modern. Rufai.
Okay. See, it is very sad what Nigeria has become. And when I keep saying that this country has become a joke, people think, oh, he doesn't. You see, when I talk passionately, it's because I think of the dream this country has and the promise it holds. And I see how mediocre we are today. We're celebrating Super Tucano, which they touted as the game changer. If you remember the conversation around when we were going to buy the Super Tucano, they said, oh, once it gets to the battlefield, we will make advancements in terms of the war. Nothing has been done. We are still having insecurity of the highest order. And then we are having Super Tucano. And we have to buy for Nigeria. The shame is, there's a plane called JF Thunder 17, made by the Pakistani. It was the Pakistani. You see, it's like a coloration of a MiG. So they started adapting MiGs. Just like the Chinese, they made the Chengdu 8, or what they call the Chengdu Coffin, and all of that, which we bought during the time of Obasanjo. But for Pakistan to be able to adapt and make planes, by this stage, compared to the GDP of Nigeria and Pakistan now, we should be able to at least have a system where we can produce these things locally. Even if it's to, let's make our own Nigerian variation of the MiG. But we've not been able to do that. We are going to buy Super Tucano that Embraer, Brazil, makes. They make out of America. It is now so bad that after the Super Tucano, afterwards we've gone to buy more planes. Now we are partnering with Leonardo in Italy to be able to bring in some planes for us. At the same time, we are looking for second-hand planes. By now, with the ascendancy of Nigeria, we should be partnering and having our own aeronautical department to be able to make these things. Look at what Turkey is doing with Bayraktar and drones. Yes, okay, we have some drones, but they are not as high class as the one Turkey is producing. So for us, it's the shame. And then you are flying the Tucano, you are shooting bullets and everything, where other countries are using their own made. Pakistan will fly their own J7 Thunder. Go and see what India is doing with the artillery. And it's just that shame that also pervades the air with the Siemens deal. By now, is it that we don't have a local company that can build infrastructure? That we are depending and rigmaroling around the Siemens deal? Since Abba Kyari passed, that deal was as good as gone. No matter how much the Buhari government tried, even this government tried in the early days, they've not still been able to do anything. And what are we saying? Expanding installed capacity to about 25,000 megawatts. That's what we've been struggling for how many years now? Since 2017 till now. Despite the fact, and Dr. Bati, you were asking, why did it work in Egypt, it didn't work here? Let me remind you, it's not the same Siemens that had to bribe what billions to Nigerian officials. Have we forgotten that deal? I mean, the country is sad.
The conversations will still continue. I'm going to come to you because, you know, all of this is also happening against the backdrop that we're struggling to finance our budgets. So some might say, well, let's make the best of what we have. If it's Super Tucano, if it's Tokumbo helicopters, at least we are moving forward and we're acquiring new machinery and equipment to prioritize security. Well, in a security-related development, no fewer than 117 repentant terrorists from Borno State have completed the Disarmament, Rehabilitation and Reintegration program under Operation Safe Corridor at the Mallam Sidi Camp as the initiative expands to the northwest. An operational update shared on Thursday by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samaila Uba, was shared at a stakeholders engagement. He stated that modalities are being finalized to transfer rehabilitated clients to national and state authorities for reintegration. The Chief of Defense Staff and Chairman of the OPSC National Steering Committee, General Olufemi Oluyede, represented by the Chief of Defense Operations at the DHQ, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to a whole of government and whole of society approach to peace building and national recovery, describing Operation Safe Corridor as a critical pillar of Nigeria's security architecture, noting that while kinetic operations create space for stabilization, structured rehabilitation and reintegration consolidate those gains and prevent the recycling of violence. It was also disclosed that Benue State has made a formal request for an establishment of a DRR camp where some of these repentant terrorists will be rehabilitated. Just some quick reactions. Bro on X tweeted, "Peace cannot be built by ignoring trauma or prioritizing reintegration over justice. Without clear safeguards and accountability, such actions risk deepening public mistrust and reopening old wounds." Block Hire also posted and said, well, what's next? Jobs? If they can work and earn money, they won't go back to violence. It's that simple. Let's hope the government has jobs ready for them. Kinetic, non-kinetic, all coming collabo, all coming together. Wow. Your take on this? Yeah.
Rehabilitation for terrorists is one of the most polarizing debates in Nigeria. There's some arguments for, strong arguments, and there's some strong arguments against. And, you know, we can see in the responses and reaction. The truth is that some of the arguments for is that they are low-risk terrorists and people that they were taken advantage of based on their circumstances. In fact, some were initiated into a life of terrorism, having been captured themselves and radicalized to become terrorists themselves. There are also people, as a result of economic circumstances, you know, were led or incited or induced to attracted into a life of crime. However, and then also the cost, that it's cheaper to rehabilitate a terrorist for 52 weeks and de-radicalize them than to spend money on being, you know, keeping them and maintaining them in the correctional services for life. So some of these arguments that there are some people who, if given better opportunities in life, would not resort to a life of terrorism. However, there's also an argument against that for me is quite stronger in the sense that, number one, to what extent can you determine the repentance of a terrorist? Would it take a year to determine that this person is now repentant and if presented with an opportunity would not go back to a life of criminality? As we've seen in different examples, including the Kwara massacre, where some of the repentant people that perpetrated the act were repentant terrorists or people who had been absorbed by the communities come back to attack the communities. It has been seen to have failed in Nigeria a number of times. Maybe perhaps as well because some of the fundamental reasons, like the person identified in that tweet, in terms of job provision, infrastructure, or poverty levels has not been solved. You cannot reintegrate people back to society when you've not solved the, what made a life of terrorism and crime attractive in the first place. Then there's the area of justice. Justice for the people who were killed. Justice for the families of those who have been terrorized and now had to face with the consequence of sadness and disaster. How do you pay for that? So that sense of justice. And then finally, they even said that some of these terrorists who undergo these programs are better treated than even some of the IDP camp members. They are given better treatment than those who are victims of their actions. And so there's that imbalance. And that's why the argument exists, but it has not proven to have worked yet. It's almost a slap on the faces of those who have experienced terrorism or are still experiencing terrorism. It has not worked. That's just the thing.
Well, on the backdrop of that, as we read in that report, the program will be expanding to other states. Still speaking on reactions and sentiments regarding the new electoral amendments, some new reactions have come in as well concerning President Bola Tinubu's assent of the controversial amended Electoral Act 2026 on Wednesday, with Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo condemning journalists and activists for representing their personal views as representative of the views of all Nigerians. In a Thursday post on X, Keyamo writes in part, "It is amusing to see how some journalists and core opposition characters posing as activists continually express their own deep-seated biases as the wish of the Nigerian people. How and where did they aggregate the views of the Nigerian people? Nigerians should be alert as we enter an election season. Some journalists and almost every so-called neutral commentator or activist you see or hear in the media are all working for one interest or the other. They just don't have the guts to come out with their full chest to openly support the political party or candidate for which or whom they are working." Woo, shots fired. Pew, 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 pew. Ayo, let me come to you.
Dr. Bati asked our guest earlier today about the statements made by Mr. Festus Keyamo, and I think I'll agree with her sentiment that at some point he also sat on this side of the table of, speaking up against what he felt was, injustice or unfairness in the way that the government ran the order of the day. At that point, I'm sure he didn't think he was speaking, when he was defending the interests of Nigeria, that he was speaking based on particular interest. I think it's important to understand that you need to read the room. He's very active on social media, which represents a key voice of certain sections. I'm not saying all Nigerians, but we have a large youth population on that platform. Civil society organizations don't act unilaterally. They also represent a group of people, whether it's women's group, disability groups, different groups. They represent these people. So they are not speaking from a personal perspective. He should read the room. He should understand that the fact that people dissent doesn't mean that it is just based on political affiliations that are hidden. This is a democratic dispensation.
How are we going to blame Mr. Keyamo? Isn't it shocking that the same journalist that made him, the same journalist that took his story when the Frayo case happened and the murder of Bola happened, the same journalist that carry his own side of the story are the ones he's abusing today. The same journalists that put him in the limelight and made him what he is today. The same journalists that he shared their platform to say his own side of the story at that point in time are the same people defending the interests of the people today, and he's going against them because he's in government. Don't worry. Shebi, he has done 2 administrations. He will finish this term. When he finishes this term, when people leave government, they, how they do? They now change their skin like activists. Dr. Abati, Dr. Abati, at that time too. I saw Dr. Abati, the firehouse journalist that time. But now that he has left government, he has not changed his skin as activist.
Say the truth.
He has not changed back. So Keyamo is still coming. He's still coming back to us
because it's not enough to be a journalist. It must be responsible journalism, and you must not misinform the people.
So Dr. Abati, you see, you are back with us.
And you must be fair and balanced.
So when you
got the memo.
Dr. Abati, when you now join government tomorrow, you will not be abusing us journalists again.
No, if you misinform the people,
think one of the major messages is that they often say activism is different to governance. Well, let's move on to Osun State. For something lighter, since it's TGIF, Governor Adeleke is trending online because of a video that's come up where he's seen repeatedly professing his love to the people of Osun State as he was speaking during a rally alongside the Osun State Cooperative Movement in Oshogwe on Tuesday. Well, this is how it all went down. Take a look.
I want to tell you, Osun people, I love you so much. I say I love you so much. 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 I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
It's the dancer at the end. I'm not from Osun State, but I love him too, just because he's sharing love. I love you so much. I love you. 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 Well, you know what? We could all do with a little more love on the campaign trail. Yes. You know, yesterday we were talking about just cooling down the policy. So I'm glad we've got something that, you know, just...
I love you. When you Lola said Tinubu, they put pressure on top and press her with pressure. I said, I love you people, I love you.
Right. Well, let's quickly move on to Milestones, where today we are celebrating the 80th birthday of Senator Florence Ita-Giwa, fondly known as Mama Bakassi, a woman whose professional record spans across industries in Nigeria's political and civic spheres. Ita-Giwa was born on the 19th of February in Cross River State. Her father was a traditional ruler, while her mother was one of the pioneering female journalists in southeastern Nigeria. Ita-Giwa has often credited her mother's career as having contributed to her decision to ultimately enter politics and use her voice for marginalized communities. Her political journey began during Nigeria's Third Republic, where she joined the National Republican Convention Party. She was elected as senator for Cross River South from 1999 to 2003, and upon switching to the PDP was appointed special advisor to President Olusegun Obasanjo on National Assembly matters. Their bond lasting through the years, with the former president celebrating with her yesterday at her birthday at a hotel in Lagos. It was beautiful moments of them dancing together. Let's take a look.
Colleagues, here from my state, I thank all of you. Everybody in this room has been part of my journey. For me, because of the service you render to Nigeria through my instrumentality when we serve together. You, as my special advisor, linking the executive with the legislature during our government. God has spared your life this long. I'm particularly happy that we can celebrate you the way we are celebrating you tonight. Shining beauty and dignity. Here I am with you celebrating your 80. By the grace of God, I will be around to celebrate your 90. Florence Ita-Giwa, happy birthday and many happy returns.
Timeless at 80. How incredible does she look?
Amazing at 80.
Yes,
and
yes.
Still able to move around. You should see the video, and her outfit was elaborate.
Yes.
Even younger women would find it difficult to walk in it, but beyond, of course, the look on her 80th is her contributions, you know, to fighting for, you know, Bakassi. That's why she's called Mama Bakassi, her service in the nation.
Happy birthday to her. Let's clap for her. And you know, she's a very good friend member of the House.
Yes.
And as we say, it has implications.
Yes.
And she's very good
Very capable.
at organizing implications.
Yes. Bakasi, we wish you an 80th birthday. However, we await implications. Dr. Abati's words. Now more under Milestones, where today we're also celebrating the 65th birthday of Chief Anyim, Pius Anyim, on his 65th birthday, which was on the 19th of February. Well, Chief Anyim was first elected senator at just 37 years old to represent Ebonyi South Senatorial District on the platform of the United Nigeria Congress Party in 1998. Just 2 years later, Anyim was unanimously elected as president of the 4th Senate of Nigeria. Throughout his tenure, Anyim worked to enhance the integrity of the legislative body as a bastion of democracy, with the 4th Senate passing 65 bills and 72 resolutions. By 2011, he was appointed as secretary to the government of the Federation by President Goodluck Jonathan, becoming the first non-career civil servant to serve in that role. So in a Thursday statement, President Tinubu celebrated Chief Anyim on his birthday, saying that his political longevity affirms his ability to build bridges across the aisle, and he described him as a believer in the promise of a greater, more prosperous Nigeria. Very happy birthday to you as well.
Also, there are implications.
But add to it, when he was Senate President, at the time the banana peel was very proverbial and famous. He was one Senate President who survived the banana peel.
All right.
And he's a very capable man.
Yes, he is. Thank you. Wish you all a wonderful Friday. And Ojinika will be back on Monday.
Oh, that's good. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much.
And this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of the Morning Show.